episode of Killers, Cults and Queens explores reported experiences and internet folklore connected to the app Randonautica. Some accounts are anecdotal or speculative and cannot be independently verified. This story discusses sensitive and potentially disturbing content and is not advised for listeners under the age of 18. Please proceed with caution. I'm Nikki Druce.
And I'm Cheryl.
And this is Killers, Cults and Queens,
the podcast where we journey into the spookiest, scariest, and damn right weirdest corners of the world.
Today, we're setting our intentions and making sure our phone is fully charged because we're heading off on an adventure with the mysterious Randonautica app. And they set the intention as death.
Why would you do that? My last two brain cells. You're nuts. You're cuckoo bananas for wanting to do death.
Oh, shall I go and hide in the comments? I might hide in the comments so nothing jumps out at me. You're an indoor cat.
Exactly that. Purr, baby, purr.
Are you ready?
I've got my phone locked and loaded, but maybe I shouldn't. Let's go.
Imagine being in a global pandemic and only able to go out for an hourly government-sanctioned walk. You start to hear about a fun app which can lead you on an unexpected adventure. So you download it just to spice things up a little bit. After all, life has been difficult during 2020 and you could do with cheering up. You head out, make your way towards the coordinates it's given you. And as you turn the corner, you notice flashing blue lights. The app has led you right to the heart of a crime scene. The intention you set before the app randomised your trip? Danger. Is this just a coincidence, or does the app really help you find the darkness in what you seek? Welcome to Killers, Cults and Queens. But before we dive into today's case, how you doing, our shares? How's your week been? What you been up to?
Do you know what? I am fabulous. I'm feeling very, very excited. We're in episode 2. We're still very relatively new to season 5, but I'm feeling very excited to be back in the studio with you.
Yay!
Touchy, not in that kind of way. But I'm feeling the good energy in the air, and I hope that is radiating to you.
It is, yes.
Excellent. How are you, my Nikki Druce?
I'm doing very, very well. We had an interesting journey on the way over because we bumped into a bunch of cowboys.
Famously, it's all going down at the O2. Not that we're date checking this day of record, but yes, it's a country and western bonanza in southwest London.
Yeah.
Never southeast London.
Yes, so I think it's over the whole weekend, isn't it? The Rootin' Tootin' Cowboy Expo is on in town. On our way here, me and the husband were saying that there was not enough rootin' or tootin' in our experience. Everybody looked a bit glum in their cowboy hats.
I mean, do we really want a load of tooting around the streets of London?
Probably not in the tube, eh?
The last thing you want trapped on the tube. But yes, I have dipped my toes into the world of country and western music, looks, and I could see how it just latches you in. It's infectious. Maybe not some of the people and their beliefs.
Yes, some of the things are a little bit old-fashioned, aren't they? Some things are fun, though. I really like the fashions of it. As you know, I got married in a Western-style dress.
She loves arseless chaps.
I really do.
Yeah. I've seen the pictures.
Yeehaw!
Life is for living and life is for fun. So fuck it. Why not, Nikki Druce?
Yeah, why not? Why not? So, speaking of fun,
okay.
Today we're going to be looking at the Randonautica app. So, have you ever heard of this before?
I feel like we have discussed this at some point or another in our many, many years of doing this craziness and nonsense. It does ring a bell. It does harken back to a time where we were all glued to our... Well, to be fair, we're all always glued to our phones, aren't we? Mm-hmm. But it does remind me of a time... It's given very Pokemon Go, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So, yes, it does tickle the brain, but not to the extent that I would like it to be.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting one for me because I discovered this during lockdown. So one of those fun things where it suddenly piques your interest and before you know it, you've gone down a rabbit hole. So this is not just a rabbit hole of the week. This is a rabbit hole of the whole year of 2020.
I'm actually quite nervous for you, but you're alive to tell the tale in 2026. Godspeed 6 years later.
Well, it's time to pack your backpack, think about what you want to manifest, and get our coordinates generated, because we're heading off on an adventure with Randonautica that may just turn out to be a bit more than we bargained for. So if you're ready, let's set the scene.
Oh, I'm always ready.
It's a scorching hot summer in 2020. While the world is embroiled in a global pandemic, most people are spending all of their time at home. As the days tick by and people are spending a lot of time on their phones, the world begins to connect online. People start searching for apps to help them improve the mundanity of life in lockdown. People were craving something different. And soon they find something. In the App Store, people saw an app which promised something big. The world's first and only quantumly generated create your own adventure app, which promised to assist you in exploring the world you never knew existed. As curious clickers downloaded and began using the app, they started uploading their finds to TikTok. This app, which was once known as Musical.ly, had been mostly shunned by people and thought of as cringe.
Pause. TikTok used to be Musical.ly. Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
Well, there you go. I'm here to educate you.
That's kind of gagged me a bit. I thought I was down with the kids and I knew all the apps and whatnot.
Anyway, back to the scene.
Sorry.
But when the world shut down, TikTok opened it back up by connecting people with short human stories from all over the world. Just everyone trying to get by. As people started using the Choose Your Own Adventure style app, they started off posting fun coincidence videos like wishing to find the colour purple and then finding a field of purple flowers, or setting the intention friendly and finding a lost dog. But then things took a dark turn. As the months of lockdown ticked by and moods started to plummet, people began using the app to set intentions of finding scarier things. Ghosts, fear and danger were all spoken intentions into the app in hopes of finding something which removed a bit of numbness from being trapped inside four walls. But what happens when the app seemingly starts giving people what they want? Do things get just a little bit spooky, or does the fun game turn into something far more terrifying, which has people wishing they'd never even downloaded it? Let's find out.
Well, that took a big 180 there. Oh my God. Right, okay. First things first, I'm still thinking about Musical.ly TikTok.
TikTok and Musical.ly, they became combined to become the TikTok that we know
they were
nowadays.
the Spice Girls. Two became one.
Yes. Yeah.
Got ya. But I can only imagine how naive people just think, I'm just going on this app. Oh, it seems fun. I get to go explore, not realising the dark web of it all. Mm-hmm. That's quite petrifying how easily accessible it is.
Yeah, and I think people didn't really know what they were getting themselves into, and they just saw these fun little videos popping up, and they were like, oh yeah, I'll go and have a go with that. Seems like fun. Something different to do.
See, lucky dear, I just didn't leave the house. I'm not an outdoors person. I'm telling you now. I've probably told you millions of times, I don't like the outdoors. Keep me indoors where everything is safe. I like a bubble.
You're an indoor cat.
Exactly that. Purr, baby, purr.
So I bet you're dying to know just exactly what this app is and how it came about. Well, I'm here to give you the lowdown. So let's beep boop borp into the mainframe and pick up our iPhone 11s back in 2020.
Hello?
Do you remember? Do you remember having an iPhone 11?
I think I had an iPhone X at that time.
Oh.
I was a few phones behind.
Yeah, I think I probably was as well. Let's cast our minds back to the scary world of 2020. In February that year, something was happening in Wuhan in China, which seemed like something we'd seen a few times before. Reports of a new flu strain. It seemed like it was pretty nasty, and a few cases had been reported. But no one was worried. We were all used to the scaremongering about potential pandemics. Things like bird flu, swine flu, and even SARS all threatened to throw the world into chaos, but had slowly disappeared.
Don't forget horse meat.
Surely this new flu would blow over in a couple of weeks. Well, fast forward until March 2020, and infections of the COVID-19 virus were spreading almost everywhere in the world. Global governments all seemingly acted too slowly, and before long, extreme measures were taken to stop the virus from spreading. And we all got very used to watching a blonde-haired buffoon at Downing Street give daily updates with catchy slogans about what we should all be doing. Can you remember any of those captions?
Strong and stable. No, that was Theresa May. Eat out to help out.
That was one of them. But before then, we had...
Hands, face, space, in the tune of Lady Gaga, Rain on Me.
Yes. So there was also Stop the Spread and Stay Home, Save Lives. So all of these became stuck in our heads, didn't they? We got morbidly fixated on the daily infections and death graphs, stuck swabs up our noses, washed our groceries, and binge-watched Tiger King as we did our best to get by. The impact of the pandemic was huge. Some people lost everything. Jobs, homes, and even loved ones. The death toll across the globe from COVID is still being counted. And at the time of writing in February 2026, the current death toll from COVID patients is over 7 million people globally.
That is scary.
A number you can't even comprehend, isn't it? So it's safe to say this was a very heavy time for the world. People were trying to find ways to lighten their load and pick themselves up. And how do you do this when you're stuck indoors? Well, you head to the internet, because that's where everyone else is too. Now, I often think about how I would have coped if the pandemic had happened in the mid-2000s, because that would have been an entirely different situation, wouldn't it? So imagine MSN Messenger notifications going off all the time, Blackberries and flip phones being the only way to get hold of each other, and the poor post people having to deliver all of those Love Film DVDs. Can you imagine?
Oh, my God. The Royal Mail would be like, we need to hire 3,000 more staff in this one single place just to get a DVD off the shelves.
Yeah, I cannot even imagine if it happened in another time than it did.
Well, could you imagine a Panny Dem in like the year 2002 trying to get bloody dial-up modem just to check the internet and the news?
Yeah.
No, not on my Nelly.
No, I got a funny feeling we would all have been just becoming medieval, I think.
Can I say something very controversial?
Please do.
I actually think there would have been more cases of COVID back in 2002 because people would have just been yearning to go outside and do something, because realistically, crap internet and only got your Skybox, and if not that, 5 channels, you'd be bored shitless.
Yeah, it would have felt very, very different, wouldn't it? But in a roundabout way, the world we found ourselves in during lockdown was almost optimised for keeping us entertained. And one such thing that stuck out was a little app called TikTok. Now, everyone adopted TikTok, but spent the whole time pretending they hadn't. So TikTok merged with the app called Musical.ly, where people would mime along to songs, which was a huge part of TikTok's content when it first started. And dancing was also huge on there. But as soon as the pandemic hit, people started using TikTok as a way to capture more personal videos, as it gave users a wider reach across the world than other apps like Instagram and Facebook, which were more about sharing static posts. This slowly erased TikTok's cringe factor, and people started scrolling for hours on there, making parasocial connections with people from all over the world. Now, Shez, can you remember the first TikTok that made an impression on you?
Oh, I left quite an impression. Can I just be completely candid for a second?
Please do.
I got TikTok, I kid you not, a week and a half before the Locky D.
Oh.
So it wasn't even really being spoken about properly.
Trendsetter go-getter.
Hey, it's what I do, it's who I am. But I was doing a gig in Amsterdam and Hayden went, you've got to make your first TikTok. This is my first ever memory of TikTok because I hadn't even scrolled on it yet. We just made this video of me arriving in Amsterdam, standing by the canal, doing my makeup, arriving at the dressing room, then walking on stage, and that was the 15 seconds. I thought it was like Vine again. I didn't realise you could do 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So there's me doing little old 15-second videos like, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Oh, I've run out of time. Like, no, you've actually got longer time. But that was the first TikTok that stayed on my brain.
So you were there straight from the beginning.
I actually got told by a good friend of mine that I needed to be on TikTok about 2 years earlier.
Oh.
And I wish I listened to them, because I could have been Plastique Tiara with 11 million followers now.
Yeah, well, there you go. Isn't that the way? Isn't that the way? Yes, I remember my first one that I really liked, because I think I adopted it during the lockdown. I must have done, because everybody was, weren't they? And it was a guy who had his camera or his phone on a skateboard and he pushed it away and then he was just walking along to Thundercat. Doodaloo, 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 doo, doo-doo,
My last two brain cells.
Yeah. I think the caption was on my way to the fridge.
Very that. Well, I loved the era of the Vines coming back. I'm always going back to Vines. And like people post old Vines and that brought me a lot of joy. Like the honking of the horn and the woman throwing the milk.
Yep. Road work ahead.
An avocado. Thanks.
Fresh avocado. So did you partake in any 2020 TikTok trends? So did you do bored in the house?
I think I did them all. Whether I posted them all is another thing, but I did a hefty amount of TikTok trends. I tried to do the do 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 do.
Oh yeah.
Running on the spot.
So you didn't make a Dalgona coffee, no?
No, I didn't do any frothy coffee bullshit.
Did you dance to Savage by Megan Thee Stallion?
Classy, bougie, ratchet.
That.
Maybe I've archived a lot of these. Maybe I've deleted a load.
Yeah, well, we're probably going to post them all up again, so...
Oh, great. Skinny me.
Well, it's safe to say that TikTok was blowing up, and when people started posting videos about an unknown app called Randonautica, people's interest was piqued. So what is Randonautica? Well, this is what their website says about the app. Are you ready for a bit of weird speak?
Wouldn't be this podcast without it.
So, and a quote. Randonautica is a tool created to enhance the human experience with novelty by mindfully exploring the world, the interconnectivity of the universe, and to test the hypothesis that human consciousness can influence the distribution of random numbers through mind-matter interaction, MMI. Developed by the global movement, the Randonauts, and based on the theories stemming from the Fatum project, the Randonautica app was created to encourage people to venture outside of their day-to-day routine by using a quantum random number generator to derive a truly random coordinate to journey to. The phenomenon has taken the world by storm, and there are millions of Randonauts exploring their surroundings in nearly every country. So that begs the question, obviously, what is the Fatum project? So this is what the Randonautica website says about that too. So the project is a symbiosis of research and cultural mediums that work to develop each other. It is an inseparable fusion of folklore and technology that continuously evolves and creates new opportunities for discovery. The technological part of the project is based on real scientific studies, although the methodology for their application may deviate from traditional academic standards for research, as we are more inventors than academic scientists. Our goal is not so much the formation of full-fledged knowledge, but the acceleration of progress and the search for novelty that can indicate the direction for future searches and change our vision of reality. So basically, if I was creating this app, I would call it Fuck Around and Find Out.
Very that. I'm not going to lie, whenever we get a manifesto or a description of a website, all I hear is like, Charlie Brown, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just a load of words. Do you know what it's giving? A ChatGPT rant.
It does sound a little bit like that, doesn't it? It's all very sciencey, isn't it? It's trying to communicate an idea with wanting to still sound slightly superior, which is what's coming across here. They could possibly do with somebody rewriting their scripts for them.
And Nikki Druce is available for all bookings.
Yes, please contact me. Now, we have limited time, so we can't go super deep into all the ins and outs of the app. But here's just a couple of things you need to know. So how do you use the app to generate these random points? Well, there's a few options you can pick from. To generate where you are going, you firstly need to set your radius and how far you want to travel. You can literally do very short trips, like half a mile, or you can opt for longer trips, which require a drive to get to. Then you pick your anomalies. So selecting attractors will give you tons of pins to explore within your chosen radius, which means more chances for weirdness. Voids are more spread out and are fewer in number. And then there's the option of power. This is one singular point to visit within your radius, which is said to have the most power. Then you can also just select blind spots. This just gives you an entirely randomised point, which could be anywhere. When picking the spot to visit, App users are told to set an intention for their trip in their mind whilst generating the point. This is to use mind-matter interaction, which pairs with the quantum entropy to test the strange entanglement of consciousness with observable reality. You getting all this?
Tractors, radios, yes.
There are also lots of top tips and safety guidance on the app to help keep users safe. And it seems the developers are doing their best to make sure people use the app responsibly and in good faith. Now, Randonautica launched on the App Store at perhaps the perfect time for its success. February the 22nd, 2020.
It's like they knew.
So the world was just heading into a global pandemic, which of course the Randonaut developers didn't know about. But the combination of people being stuck at home, only allowed to go out for minimal exercise, and seeking any adventures they could find, meant the app was picked up on soon after it launched. When clips were released by the app's developers from a pilot TV show they'd made called Ready or Randonaut, which is a really good title,
I think that is quite fabulous.
some got picked up by bored TikTok users. One of the clips shows a woman called Auburn Salcedo, who just so happens to be the co-founder of Randonautica, setting an intention of purple before it then cuts to her fainting nearby some purple flowers. So this was an intriguing enough clip that got people downloading the app and trying it out for themselves. Soon people are uploading their own user-generated content of them carrying out their own Randonautica trips and uploading them to TikTok. And then suddenly things take off. But the reason things start to pick up speed is because the app is sending some people to very weird places where strange things are happening to them. But now, let's take a moment to chat about our series sponsor, Snag. Today, I'm wearing something from Snag.
Fabulous!
I've got this lovely skirt on. Do I need to stand up?
Showcase the skirt! Showcase the skirt! Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy! I love all the gorgeous tiers in it. And the ombre. It goes from light grey to medium grey to black.
And the waistband is really elastic and lovely as well, and super soft. And normally I struggle with elastic waistbands because I find that throughout the day they suddenly start pinching and then I get kind of a sicky feeling. But this does not happen with this. And also, hang on.
Don't tell me there's pockets.
It has pockets.
Now, look, I'm all for fashion, but I need some practicality in my life, and that is quite fabulous.
And these are big enough that you can fit your phone in them as well.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I've got my lovely Snag tights on underneath as well, which are nicely patterned.
That's
Beautiful.
a fabulous print.
Beautiful. But it's safe to say that Snag clothing is so comfortable. They really do think about the practicalities of things, you know, pockets, stretchy waistbands, all of that sort of stuff. And whenever I wear this, it really does turn heads as well. And it looks great with just like a simple top or a t-shirt as well. And it's just elevates your look.
It's a statement. And I what I love about Snag is they are all about making a statement, but making you feel comfortable in everything you wear. It's not just for one type of person, it's for everybody.
It really is, and this skirt itself is from the Kraken collection, but I believe it might have possibly sold out. But if you don't get this one, there's so many different things on there. They've just released a really amazing range of clothing, which is just all super comfortable, but everyday looks. So make sure you head to www.snagtights.com to check out all their goodies.
And thank you to Snag Tights for sponsoring this season of Killers, Cults and Queens.
The app developers behind Randonautica must have been pretty chuffed that this perfect storm of a situation had really helped to kickstart their app. Honestly, in my opinion, had there not been a lockdown, I really doubt this app would have been picked up because people are busy and the thought of wandering around aimlessly looking for a random adventure really does seem like a pandemic pursuit and not one that would happen too much today. But the app does take off, and soon people are uploading their Randonautica adventures to TikTok, and people are hooked. I was one of those people.
Of course you were.
People begin setting their intentions for things which seem like things you wouldn't want to actively go looking for. Videos show a plethora of creepy things. People finding abandoned homes they'd never found in their neighbourhoods before. A solitary person just standing in a field in the middle of the night, not moving. Dogs which look entirely frozen on a farm track. And one video even finds a note pinned on a tree which just says, "You found it."
What? But what did they find?
I don't know. It.
What if, like, Mike Myers just jumped out at you then? You found it. Now you're gonna die.
No, thank you. No.
See, Nikki, I would be watching these videos on TikTok and this would not be appealing to me in the slightest. My curiosity is rock bottom.
Oh, see, I like the slightly spooky feeling that you get when you're watching things like this, where it's like, oh, shall I go and hide in the comments? I might hide in the comments so nothing jumps out at me.
And I bet something did.
Yeah, things always jump out at you. Spooky YouTubers then start picking up on these viral videos, and the word spreads further in the dark internet community, which then generates more videos of people going out trying to find creepy shit. Then it seems that for some reason, the places the app is sending people to are just getting scarier. One TikTok user, whose account no longer exists, known as McKenna Ray, uploaded a video where it was instantly obvious that something had gone horribly wrong. In the video, McKenna is crying. She's sobbing and struggling to get her words out. It's clear something awful has happened to her. She explains that she went out randonauting with her boyfriend and they set the intention as death.
Why would you do that?
It seems they asked and they almost received. As 18-year-old McKenna fills us in on what happened, she says they set their intention, went out in the car, and as soon as they got to their coordinates generated by the app, they saw a person lying in the gutter. They got out of the car to help them, and the man lying in the gutter was being cradled by his wife as he'd been shot.
Oh, God.
McKenna says they helped the couple and called the police, waiting until they arrived. They were questioned and then told to go home. Now, just to confirm, the man did survive, but this was a very close call, and McKenna was understandably scarred by the whole situation, and she warned other people to not go randonauting.
Listen to McKenna.
Understandably, people did question the credibility of McKenna's claims, as after all, she could just be a really good actor. But when people looked into her claims, they did find the incident she spoke about, as it was tweeted out by her local police department, asking for information, as this was a random drive-by shooting. One spooky YouTuber known as Nick Crowley went on his own randonauting adventure after learning about how the app had been directing people towards creepy things. So he decides to make a video which is still on his YouTube channel, which has the same name. He then decides to go out, him and a friend, and they joke about what their intention should be. Nick says, blood.
Oh, it's never a good idea.
And he says this as the app is generating the coordinates. But then he changes his mind and opts for friendly, as it's not so dark. So they have their coordinates, and then it's time for them to go explore. They jump in the car, and off they go. As they get closer to the spot, they see flashing red and blue lights coming from all directions. They think that's odd, but it's not until they get closer that they realise the emergency vehicles speeding past them are all going to the spot where Randonautica wants them to go. They stop a distance away for a moment and then decide to move on, as, it's not really appropriate for them to go poking around in what is clearly an emergency situation. They pick another location, which Randonautica generated, and head on. But guess what? More emergency vehicles are all congregated on that spot as well.
Of course.
Now, these are smart and respectful people. They're not going to go getting involved in an active police investigation. So they stop for a little bit and talk in the car about how they hope everyone involved is okay. Nick is concerned because he said blood first as his intention and then changed his mind to friendly, and maybe that influenced the outcome. So they abort mission and head home, but they decide to go out later on that same night to try again. On their second try, despite what they've already experienced, they set an altogether darker intention.
Why?
This time, Nick says he wants to use the word death. Nick's friend is not so sure about this, but he assures her that he doesn't mean their death, it's just in general.
Why would you wish that upon anything and anyone. You're nuts. You're cuckoo bananas for wanting to do death.
Just doesn't seem like a good idea, does it?
Never.
Now, this part isn't filmed, so make of that what you will. But Nick says in a video recorded later that something happens on the way to their Randonautica coordinates, which makes them question their safety. As they're driving and getting closer to their location, a car swerves onto the wrong side of the road, headed straight for them. They very nearly crash head-on into another vehicle at 60 miles per hour, which could have been fatal. Luckily, the driver swerves back out of their way just in time, but they're shaken at what they've just experienced.
Not stirred.
Now, the chances of two bad things happening in one day are not off the cards, but when you start linking them to the random quantum generation idea, it begs the question, is Randonautica really harnessing people's thoughts and giving them an outcome which could create chaos? Or is this just coincidental? Nick doesn't know, but he's definitely freaked out by the events he experienced that day.
Rightfully so.
Now, Randonautica really started to get noticed when one particular video started going viral. In it, a group of friends had gone out on a randomly generated adventure and set the intention, travel. So, when they found a suitcase washed up on a beach, they were excited to see what was inside. But when they opened it, what they found would change their lives, but not in a good way. But that's all coming up next time on part 2 of our deep dive into the Randonautica app.
I dread to think what the hell is in that bloody suitcase.
You don't want to know, but you're going to find out.
I'm going to find out on Thursday in part 2. Okay, right. Top of this episode, I said, tickled the brain. I'd heard of it. I'd known bits. Not to the level of this bullshit. I've got a theory, and I'm saying it now. This app is controlled by bad people, and they are taking advantage of everybody and setting up these booby traps with all their other bad people to cause bad things to them, in my opinion.
We're going to find out more as we go into episode 2 about exactly where this app can lead you and what might be going on behind it.
Coming up next time on Killers, Cults and Queens.
We'll be picking up with part 2 of this story and seeing where Randonautica leads us next. But the question is, will it be friendly or frightening? Join us next time to find out.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We'll be back on Thursday with part 2 of this case.
And we want to hear from you. We'll be discussing your thoughts and theories this Friday on the Spooky Sleepover bonus show. So pop us an email at killerscultsqueens@gmail.com.
Or drop us a DM at Killers, Cults, Queens on Instagram. Or leave us a comment on Spotify or on our YouTube page.
Big thanks to Snag for sponsoring this series of Killers, Cults and Queens. If you want clothes that are comfy, great quality and fit your body perfectly, make sure you check them out at www.snagtights.com. If you've been affected by any of the themes in this episode, please have a look at the description for lots of helpful resources.
Remember, you can watch our full-length videos over on our YouTube and on Spotify, or you could come watch them a day early on Patreon at patreon.com/Killers, Cults and Queens.
See you next time, and don't be a killer or join a cult.
Just be a queen. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm off to have a lemsip.